Hi, adiash73 here again with this week's weekly gaming update vlog. Thank you for tuning in, thank you for watching, thank you for comments, likes, subs, it's all good. And going on from there, quick shout out as I always do to the new follower. Got one new follower this week on my blog on trueachievements.com, and that's Mr. Red Knight NZ81. Thank you for deciding to follow me. We've known each other quite a while. It was good to play F1 2010 PC yesterday. I look forward to doing some more of those sessions next week, even if it means I've got to get up earlier on my week off. So that's out of the way. Let's have a look at where we are gaming wise, which is what this blog covers. If you haven't seen one before, basically it's a recap of my gaming week. And this week it's been a good week, very good in fact. I finished work on Thursday last week. That's it now. No more work until the 7th of January. So I've got a nice long break. Starting to feel relaxed already. It's pretty chilled out. So I've been out to get a couple of gaming days in. Today is bloggy type stuff. Got my nieces round. I can already hear them downstairs distracting me by making loads of noise. Hopefully that's not being picked up on the microphone, but if it is, well, just got to deal with it, just got to move on. That's the way it goes sometime. I mean, God, it's not exactly a crisis, is it? But there we are. So gaming wise this week, very good week. A lot of achievements out of SBK 2011. Managed to get 22 in one day. Unheard of. That is because they were all really easy. But there's still a lot of achievements in one day, and managed to unlock the Hurricane achievement in SBK 2011, which is for storming all the challenges. Now that's some of the footage up there. I'm going to put in the storming the challenge footage up there because that is pretty tricky. I did cap on all of it, so I can stitch together something at a later date. Challenging. That's up there. That's like a 4.5 difficulty. Yeah, it was surprising how tricky it was. Now I'm moving into the career, and in the career there's basically you have to do tests to upgrade your bike. And there's one test in particular which is a test where you've got to save your tyres. You can't slide the bike at all when you're racing. I'm finding that one very tricky. Takes quite a few tries, but I will persevere with it because I do want to get the 1,000 out of that game. I can't see any reason why I won't now. It's all on track to do that. So plough through the rest of the career on SBK 2011. Hopefully have that done before I go off for my Zen meditation mindfulness teacher training course, which happens on the 27th of December. So while that's fresh in my mind, next week will be the final weekly update of the year. Then I will do a 2012 recap, and I will also do a 2013 look ahead. Hopefully, I mean, who knows? Next week the world could end. If it does, it does, doesn't it? Hey, what can we do about it? But I'm presuming that it won't end, and we'll all still be here next week to game some more. Who knows? Anyway, get out of the way. What else have I been playing? Well, I started yesterday SBK Generations. Very similar to SBKX, SBK 2011. It's what you'd expect. It's again, it's brighter. Everything looks a bit more colourful. The low simulation mode is a bit trickier. It's a bit less forgiving than on 2011. It's gone more back to how it is in SBKX, and my idea of playing all the bike races together has definitely worked. I'm definitely tuned in now to bike races, and I was playing with Ian K yesterday and grinding out the miles for SBK 2011, and you know, I was consistently doing quite well, I'll put it that way. To save his blushes. But to his defence, he does say that he's not very good at bike races, as most of us up in the top 10 are generally will probably say the same thing. I know that Mr. Wolf Sandog, he says the same thing. I know that Bobcat says the same thing. There aren't enough bike races out there. We don't play them enough, and you know, your skills on the bike races are very different to that required for car racing games. So generally, you know, we just play it, move on, play it, move on. We're not playing it hours on hours on hours at a time. So It's definitely helped playing all the 3 games back to back. I would recommend it to anyone that's thinking of doing a similar type of thing, because the challenges on SBK Tour are quite tricky. There was one point when my old heart was really beating as I thought I was going to do it, and then because I got too excited I cocked it up and, you know, had to do it again. But it's definitely worked, and as sort of spurred on an idea for 2013 in terms of what I want to do. But I do know that next year is going to be less gaming on the whole, so we'll see. But more about that in a later vlog. So what else I've been playing? F1 2010 PC, chipping away on Nifty 50 now. I'm at about 65%, just under. So around 12-ish hours, maybe a little bit more boosting that. It's, you know, it's not the best boosting in the world, but it gets it done, it's quick, it's efficient, and then I've got the career to do on that. Going forward into next week, I'm going to be starting another game on the pile behind me, and that is Flat Out Ultimate Carnage PC. There's a boosting session for that on Monday, so get that knocked out. Also, I want to get the MotoGP 07 online finished off next week. Again, that'll be with Ian K, and that's where we are. So bike racing, that's where it is, that's what it is, that is where it's going for the foreseeable future, certainly for the remainder of this year at least. So that's what I've been playing, what I've been looking at. Let's move on to something else. And this week I thought I'd have a little bit of a chat about my every time I get my finger wrong, right down there, my little stats. And this week in particular I thought I'd have a quick little mention about my Project Race stats, because I haven't spoken about that in a long time. It's been a long time since I did a specific vlog about it. I'm not going to do any more specific vlogs about Project Race, so I've just every now and again I'll drop in here how things are moving, and on the whole it's going okay, but it's all relative because I'm scoring, they're all scoring, it all sort of remains the same. It's really difficult, especially as I'm a bloody anal freak and I like my completions. It means it's difficult for me to pile on loads of points because I want to get those last hard difficult achievements in the game and get my completions done, which is the board that I like the most because that's the one I'm highest on. Obviously, you know, the one you're highest on is the one you're going to like. So on the whole, this month's been good for movements on Project Race in terms that I've stayed about the same. And for example, this month, 785 game score, 1622 TA score. That's kept me sort of level pegging with Ian K, who's the immediate target above me on most of the leaderboards. Now, we had a good old play yesterday on SBK 2011, me and Ian K, and you know, a good old bit of banter, and that's what I think the leaderboards should be fun. It's not about, you know, for anyone that doesn't know, we all know each other pretty much on the top 10, even in the top 20. I know quite a lot of the names. When we have a big boosting session for sort of MotoGP 9, 10 or 10 or 11, where you need a lot of players, 20 plus players, it's pretty much a who's who of the top 20. You know, you get a few random people drop in, and we all get on, we all know each other. I don't know if we all get on, that's probably a bit of a stretch, but we all know each other, we all got respect for each other, and it's not like big enemies and oh, I must get him, I must beat him, I've got to rub him into the ground and all the rest of it. No, we get on quite well. So it was really nice to play with Ian K yesterday, and we're having a big old chat about other people on the board and, you know, what we're going to do, keep scoring wise, and it is spurring it on. You know, he was saying, oh, you know, I didn't really play any races, and I saw your vlog and you said you know, something's going to happen, and then I thought, oh yeah, so I worked out what it was going to be, and I decided to, and it's like, yes, I know what you did, you scored some more points, and that means that I've got to score more points, but it does mean we can try and close the gap down. So this week Ian K has been banging out the achievements, banging out score, but so have I. So the gap between me and him has stayed the same. But what has happened is we're closing that gap to someone who's had a mention in my blog before, and that's Mr. Mascal77. I did notice he was playing NASCAR 09 yesterday, but I think that we'll both, Ian K and myself, will catch him and pass him. Then it's the long drag up to the people that are further up the list. and that is going to be tricky because they're quite some points ahead of us. And again, not everyone in that list above us likes to complete their games. They like to, you know, do what they can do. In terms of the people below me, especially on sort of true achievement score and gamer score, I seem to be pulling a gap now. So that's quite good. I mean, it takes the pressure off people, you know, on my tail trying to catch me up. It's just now I can just focus forward and look at catching the people that are above us. So that's all very well and good, but it does mean I've got to keep playing. And as I just alluded to a little while ago, I know that 2013 is going to be less gameplay on the whole. So I've been thinking about it, thinking about a plan of what I can do, and I have got an idea about how I'm going to lay my games out. I'm going to do a special blog about that, and but you'll see for yourself if you decide to watch it, won't you? But the idea is I'm going to do like I've done now and do it in chunks. So I've done my chunk of racing games, I'm going to do a chunk of crash time games, I'm going to do a chunk of dirty type games, so rally games, MX games, and sort of break it up a bit like that. And then a chunk of like uncompleteables, get those done just with the points. But it's going to be tricky. It's going to be, I don't know how it's all going to work out as things start to change next year, but I'm sure I'll find a way, as we always do. We are incredibly resourceful human beings, incredibly adaptable. Just got to embrace that change, embrace it, and reinvent yourself and move forward, which I'm good at. I've done it many times. Right, so that sort of wasn't really what I wanted to say, but hopefully it was interesting enough to keep you watching till this point. How many minutes are we at? 11 minutes. Right, going forwards, as I say, still boosting F1 2010 PC, going to start the Flat Out Ultimate Carnage PC, going to boost off my MotoGP 07. I'm not looking to boost any other sessions. I know that people have been posting up about Dirt 3 sessions. It's tempted, but I don't want to start any more games. Dirt Showdown sessions, again, my completion percentage has taken a real battering by starting all of these games so much recently. I really want to try and get it back up. I mean, I almost got back to 96%. I did go over it a little while ago, then dropped below it, and I'm like miles off again from 96%. And it's like, oh, I used to be over 98, so I want to try and get back. So I think I'll, you know, spend a bit of time wrapping up some games and just try and get that completion percentage back up. In terms of milestones, today I finally passed 350,000 TA score, which is okay. I'm quite happy with that. As I've said before in my blogs, I punch really a lot higher than my gamer score should do, really. I mean, under 200, what, just over 180,000 game score, 181 something, 962 off the top of my head, something like that. It is in the stats. Oh, I done the finger wrong again. It is in the stats. I do put that in there every week. So yeah, that's not. I mean, it's pretty good. I can't lie. My ratio is pretty good. It's taken effort. It's taken work, and that's rewarding. And that's one of the things I like about gaming. Really, is that earlier on this week with the SBK Hurricane stuff, it was really challenging. Really, I was really pushed to my limit there. But when I got that achievement, it was fantastic. That one single achievement was felt far better than the 22 I popped yesterday. Well, Friday, and that's what I'm sort of missing in a way with just ploughing through these games. So maybe I'll shake things up a bit next year and go for harder games. I don't know. Just checking the time, 14 minutes. I'm going to leave it there. There's a knock on the door, which means I'm going to get pestered by one of my nieces, I'm sure. So I'm going to call it quits there before she comes in dressed as a reindeer or as a giraffe and then starts jumping all over me and beating me up. No, she's coming in. No. Oh no, here she comes. Oh, Golden Bennett, here she is. Hello, Jennifer. That's a lovely smile you've got at the moment, nice and gappy. Oh look, you're only just peering in, look. That's it. Oh. Yeah. Right, look, you've got to look up here and say hello.
Hello, my name's Jennifer and I'm 6 years old. And I've lost a tooth.
Another tooth?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 gone now.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Are you looking forward to Christmas?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you want Santa to bring you?
A doggy that wheezes itself.
A doggy that wheezes itself. Well, that's lovely.
And I'm eating what is this?
Eating your biscuit. Right, okay folks, now I'm going to go now before it all gets into a big old tiggle fight. Which is always what happens when these terrible twosome come round. Although Isabel's not here, is she? She is here, but she's downstairs, isn't she?
Yeah.
Okay, folks.
She's my niece.
No, she's your sister.
No, she's my niece.
Anyway, folks, right, before this gets completely out of control, I'm going to go. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. What do you want to say a final message? No?
I know, we'll
You've said that already. Okay, right. Thanks for watching.
Tickle me!
I'm not going to tickle you yet. And I will see you next week when hopefully I won't be...
Look at my crown!
Oh, dear me. This is what it's going to be like all afternoon. But I love it. I do love it. Anyway, take care. Have a good week. And I'll see you soon. You're a lunatic, you are.